of mystic meditation, kirtan, and bhakti yoga. Hundreds and thousands of men can be purified. Thus, all living entities in the forest of Jarikanda, some moving and some standing still, became maddened by hearing the holy name of Lord Krishna vibrated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In all the villages throughout which the Lord passed, and in all the places he rested on his journey, everyone was purified and awakened to ecstatic love of God. When someone heard the chanting of the holy name from the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and someone else heard this chanting from that second person, and someone again heard this chanting from the third person, everyone in all countries became a Vaishnava through such disciplic succession. Thus everyone chanted the holy name of Krishna and Hari, and they danced, cried, and smiled. Purport: the transcendental potency of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is herein explained. First, the holy name is vibrated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When someone hears from him directly, he is purified. When another person hears from that person, he is also purified. In this way, the purification process is advancing among pure devotees. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and no one can claim his potency. Nonetheless, if one is a pure devotee, hundreds and thousands of men can be purified by his vibration. This potency is within every living being, provided he chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly and without material motives. When a pure devotee chants offenselessly, another person will become a Vaishnava, and from him another Vaishnava will emerge. This is the Parampara system. This excerpt was from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 17.46 through 49. Our dear Srila Prabhupada, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all the great acharyas, if you so desire, please instill in us the intense desire to chant the Mahamantra without any offense and only for the purpose of pleasing you. Thank you for considering our request. Hare Krishna. And now we'll begin the chanting this morning with the Panchatattva mantra, and then we'll continue on chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and we'll continuously bring our attention back to the beauty of the Mahamantra and invest our heart in the chanting, calling out to the Lord. I have a crocodile on my leg and I need your help. Please assist me in coming close to you and remembering you. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Remember to bring your awareness back to the chanting. Wherever the mind goes, bring it back to the Mahamantra and just keep it fixed there. No need for any other thoughts or calculations. Just become aware of the vibration of the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Remember to pronounce all the syllables. It's helpful in concentrating on the holy name. If you attend to your tongue and make sure that you're hitting the syllables. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Krishna. I'm reading another excerpt from Srila Prabhupada's teachings on the holy name. This one's called Be Ready to Receive the Transcendental Gift. Not only is the chanter of the Mahamantra purified, but the heart of anyone who happens to hear the transcendental vibration of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is also cleansed. Even the souls embodied in lower animals, insects, trees, and other species of life also become purified and prepared to become fully Krishna conscious simply by hearing the transcendental vibration. This was explained by Thakur Haridas when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from him how living entities lower than human beings can be delivered from material bondage. Haridas Thakur said that the chanting of the holy names is so powerful that even if one chants in the remotest parts of the jungle, the trees and animals will advance in Krishna consciousness simply by hearing the vibration. This was actually proved by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself when he passed through the forest of Jarikanda. At that time, the tigers, snakes, deer, and all other animals abandoned their natural animosity and began chanting and dancing in Sankirtan. Of course, we cannot imitate the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but we should follow in his footsteps. We are not powerful enough to enchant the lower animals such as tigers, snakes, cats, and dogs, or entice them to dance, but by chanting the holy names of the Lord, we can actually convert many people throughout the world to Krishna consciousness. Contributing or distributing the holy name of the Lord is a sublime example of contributing or giving charity, the Dadati principle. By the same token, one must also follow the Pratigranati principle and be willing and ready to receive the transcendental gift. That was from the Nectar of Instruction, Text 4, purport. And now we'll take some reflections from the readings or from the Japa period so far.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I wanted to share a reflection that I had from the past week. Yesterday, I started doing a new service of grinding sandalwood, and when I was doing it, I was kind of reflecting on just like the process of grinding sandalwood, and I was thinking that the wood itself, it's not really that presentable to Krishna. It's very hard, and it's not really that pretty either. It's just a piece of wood. But then when you bring it to the friction of the stone, gradually it's broken down and it becomes soft and fragrant and something that is actually required in order to worship Krishna. And so I was thinking in the same way, chanting Japa, our heart is very hard in the beginning, but then when it comes in contact with the holy name, it becomes soft and it becomes an object that can actually be offerable to Krishna.
Very nice. It's a really apt analogy, and that is, it takes a little bit of effort to grind sandalwood, and when you lean into it, then the fruit comes, and it's very nice and offerable to the Lord. I think we can keep that in mind. It's really nice. And here's one from Anonymous, who says, "It is very hard for me to chant in a group setting. Instead of listening to the mantra I am chanting, I get distracted and my mind goes on to listen to others chanting, even on the Zoom call. I lower the volume so I'm not distracted. Wonder if this is only me or if others have the same problem." And Dainiti Prabhu says, "How fast, hear every syllable." Yeah, so if you don't find yourself encouraged by the group chanting or finding it helpful, then it's perfectly acceptable to turn the volume down so you can concentrate. Whatever arrangement you need to make is fine. What other things?
Maharaj, there would be some on the live, the questions.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, as the Mataji was saying just now about not finding group chanting very appealing, I had the same issue maybe a year back or something. But one thing I noticed is that group chanting really, really helps because it gives you a fixed time when you make like a sankalpa to come and sit down and do your very best with the service that you do every day. So that way it really helps me. Second thing is that I see other devotees doing the same service and they do it better than me. It really motivates me to try just a little bit harder. And the third thing is over a period of time, everything becomes like a habit. So then what I didn't like before, I was able to like initially, like you said, in a lower volume tolerate. And then at one point, you really want to hear other people tasting the mantra. And then it reminds you, you've got to do the same thing. So initially, it may not, initially, like it's the same with the thing we say, right? What initially tastes bitter becomes sweeter as time goes by. So if we just hold on and stick with the association, then this group chanting slowly picks up. So not to drop off the call or avoid it because it's a little difficult for them. But I just want to share that.
That was a waterfall of cascading realizations. Fantastic. I found that really helpful myself. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Thanks for sharing, Andrew Lekanto. Anybody want to share their experience of chanting or anything they heard from the reading that stimulated any inspiration?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, when I was chanting and my mind was calculating something, and then same moment you mentioned that, bring your mind back, don't make any calculation in your head exactly at the same time. And I just felt like so fortunate that if I would be myself, I would have probably kept on calculating in my head for many lifetimes. So it's so powerful to be there when you're, here, then you're here to correct us and guide us and inspire us. So I just wanted to share that exactly at the same moment it happened today. So
hey, Jai. Yes, it can help to have a little coaching in whatever we do. And if there's a few thoughts that come in, it just helps us to refocus and realign. I am on the grid that's showing whatever's coming in. So Shankar Nand Prabhu said, "Thank you very much, Devavrata Prabhu, for sharing such nice realization." And Dennis and Karina said, "Is it okay to visualize Krishna while chanting, like the tulsi on his foot or the cymbals on his foot or his flute, or should one try to concentrate on the sound?" No need to artificially fix the mind in a particular way. But when chanting the holy name, it's best to bring the mind to the vibration. However, if that stimulates spontaneously some image of the holy Dham or the deity, then keep your mind on that. But you don't have to conjure something or specifically fix your mind in that way. Specifically, you should chant the holy name and hear the vibration. That will come naturally, some image. Naimisharanya Prabhu said, "I was chanting, remembering the house is burning analogy, and we need to utilize every moment we have in Krishna's service." Yes, if there's a sense of urgency, which all the Shastras tell us that there is, and we chant with that sense of urgency, the chanting will be more focused and intense. Anyone else from the Zoom room?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Srivatsa.
So basically, over the last week, I was chanting my rounds and I got distracted once. And along the lines of this whole, about the whole urgency aspect, I was thinking about, for some reason, my mind jumped to, I used to take Kung Fu classes and my mind jumped to that for some reason. And I remember in this this one video, the teacher showed me is this thing in which someone creates an air bubble in someone's bloodstream, and the person only has a minute left to live before the air bubble reaches their heart. And I thought about that immediately. I was like, oh, like I don't even know if I have a minute left to live. And then it weirdly helped my chanting. I don't know how, but it helped. So my question was like, I had this sense of urgency sometimes, but after some time when I'm starting to chant and that sense of urgency starts to slowly go away because chanting starts to become some sort of daily routine. Like, okay, I wake up and I start chanting. And I completely forget of this idea that I could die at any moment. And not only can I die at any moment, this chanting is like it's my most important service, I guess. And how do I stay focused on the how do I keep the right attitude for chanting is I guess what my question is.
It's helpful if you keep a little Shastra with you when you're chanting, and if and when your mind starts getting lazy or going off in some other direction or forgetting the urgency, then you can take a little shot of the Shastra, just keep it in a little book stand in front of you and mark the places that especially inspire you. For instance, prayers by Bhaktivinoda Thakur and other acharyas who mention how important it is to chant. There's nothing else in the 14 worlds. And if you do that at intervals, you'll find that it brings your mind back to attention by the power of the Shastra. You can try that and see what happens.
Thank you, Mark.
Radhe, you're welcome. Thank you for such a practical question. Achyuta Radhe, Saturday chanting is the best concentrated chanting for me, and I increase the volume to hear. It is most purifying. Jai. Namasya. I realize just to chant brings me peace anywhere I am, a group or alone. Yes, it is important to realize where our happiness is coming from. And Shraddha Devi Dasa says, I like the Dadati Pratigrinati principle, the greatest gift to give, the holy name, and we must also receive it. Kamala, Bhaktin Kamala says, loved Saturday Japa. Hare Krishna, it's an elixir. Once, this is from Alex and Valentina. Once, while trying to open a harmonist, we found this statement of the purpose just right in the beginning, which was similar, that Srila Prabhupada is speaking. The Lord desires his word to be preached to all living beings. The harmonist stands for this desire. She cherishes the faith that a day will come when his word will be preached everywhere, all over the world, through the medium of all the languages, including the language of animals and plants, when this will be practicable. She believes that Gaurasundar will be in the fullness of time, will rise up fit preachers to every part of the world and in numbers amply sufficient for his purpose. This is the message of the Harmonist, the magazine of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Rohit says, I realized how important it is to stay away from distractions while chanting. It's like one can't have a conversation with another when one keeps picking up the phone or keeps texting in the middle of the conversation. Similarly, we're in a conversation with the holy name and we must be with it constantly. What a nice realization. Thank you for sharing that. And that's very practical because the offense called being inattentive while chanting is said by Bhaktivinoda Thakur to be the root of all the other offenses. So if we attend to this one aspect of chanting, which is being attentive, and attentive has that word ten, which is Latin for reaching out and also connecting, like the word tendon, it connects muscle and bone. We have to exert our will to stay connected to the holy name, not that we just chant it and then think of other things, because that breeds offense. And the last one, before we do some more chanting, from the last few weeks, I only hear Guru Maharaj's chanting. It is so nectarian and my chanting improved. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, yes.
This is Vaisesika Dasa. I just had one reflection to share. From your notes on the appearance day of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you gave us a summary of 3 points he mentioned. That has been really motivating and inspirational for me. I would just read that. I know you all remember that, but that's like, be a dog of Vaishnava, beg for the holy name, and remember that there is nothing else to be accused in the fucking world except for the holy name. So that has been very helpful.
Oh, good. Good. Thank you very much. Good to see you. And if anybody ever gets a tattoo, you can use one of those 3, but I don't recommend it. Here's one more reading before we do some more group japa from Prabhupada's instructions in chapter 5, Japa meditation, how to chant. We capture each bead and chant, Prabhupada writes. Krishna consciousness movement means we are teaching our disciples how to think of Krishna 24 hours. This is Krishna consciousness. And the simple method is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is the process. We have got this bead bag, and within this bag there are beads. We capture each bead and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One bead equals 16 times. So the whole bead chain, there are 108 beads. So one round means about 1,700. In this way, our disciples are advised to chant at least 16 rounds. This is our daily duty. It takes about 2 hours. That from a lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam 172-4 in Durban, October 14th, 1975. So let's go back to our group chanting, or if you want to chant more by yourself, you can turn the sound down and be absorbed. Any way that works for you. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Prabhu Nityananda. So all of you are great souls because you're following the footsteps of the great acharyas and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. It seems too simple, but it's actually Aimukta Kaleru Pasyamana. The liberated souls worship the holy name. So this is the essence of all the practices that we're doing, is to take time every day mindfully with devotion and prayer and intensity, chant the holy names, and everything good will come from that. And also we'll become empowered to spread the holy name. If we can get one molecule of inspiration from our chanting each day, that will carry us. And that will prevent us from falling down also. Falling down is a waste of time, and it causes so much problem. So it's best to instead exert oneself in the primary practice of chanting the holy name with as much investment of energy, of intention as possible. And then one can be fortified and have that special mercy of the Lord coming through the holy name. It keeps us a little above the drowning point in the material world, which is called habudubu, which sounds like bubbles coming up. And Prabhupada writes that you don't have to be a mile above the water to not drown. All you have to be is at least 1 inch above the water. And so from our japa, we can get at least 1 inch above the water of the material world, the machinations in the mind, thinking about how to enjoy and all the complexities and everything like that, then we can be saved. And here's what Prabhupada writes. He says, Krishna would also count on 108 beads. Krishna had many thousands of cows, and they were divided into groups according to their colors. They were also differently named according to color. When he would prepare to return from the pasturing ground, he would gather all the cows. As Vaishnavas count 108 beads, which represent the 108 individual gopis, so Krishna would also count on 108 beads to count the different groups of cows. Just see how esoteric is this chanting. We're chanting on the 108 beads on the string, which is the 108 gopis, which means that just by this chanting, you're going back to Goloka Vrindavan, without a doubt. Isn't that wonderful? Yes, that's wonderful. Let's just hear any last realizations, because we don't want to miss any of them. If you have any to share, please either write them in or come into the Zoom room and you can express them personally. Radha Venkat says, chanting is asking the Lord for more service. In a job interview, if I get distracted, I'm never going to get my job. Good one. And Shraddha said, falling down is a waste of time. Actually, even if there is some fall down, then we can learn from that and come back. The advice in the Shastra, Sapada Mulam Bhajata Priyasya Tyaktanya Bhavasa Hare Priyeshaha Vikarma Yachot Patitam Katanjit Tunoti Sarvam Ridi Sanivishta Garbhajana. Actually, yes, this is from 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in which it is said that if there is some vikarma, if for any reason something happens, you're thrown off track, then just keep doing your practice of devotional service. And you'll be rectified by the power of the devotional service, because Krishna's there in your heart and he sees that you're continuing, and then he'll rectify you by that process. Don't become a victim and don't give up under any circumstances. So,
Hare Krishna,
although
Prabhu.
it is a waste of time, you can make the best out of it. Hare Krishna. Yes, please.
Sorry, Prabhu. I actually had this realization. I was reading Sachinandan Maharaj's book, The Art of the Living Name, and he was mentioning how sometimes in our japa we show up and we are more in an achiever mentality because we're trying to see what we can get from Krishna. But if we're able to align our body, mind, and soul, and we put our attitude in the receiver mentality, then we're able to get so much more out of the japa because Krishna is seeing our efforts and he's offering us back from himself. And I thought that was very a different paradigm, because sometimes I show up in a more achievement mentality, but changing that to a more grateful receiving mentality was it was a very nice point.
It's a very nice point. Be a receiver, not an achiever, when you're chanting japa. Excellent. Be on receiver mode. Two more? Yes?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
I chant 4 rounds and go when I go to Mangalarti and I chant 4 rounds.
Yep.
To make me happy.
You look happy. Very
I
good.
have a
Well, we're happy to have you here in the Japa circle. It's very enlivening to see you, and thank you for telling us about Mangalarti and your chanting. One more? Anyone?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances. I was just thinking that just during the chanting, I was thinking that if I treat the holy name as a subject, then it reciprocates as just like I deal with a person. If I treat it as an object, then it won't be any reciprocation. Just like when I deal with a person, when I give attention to the other person, I get the reciprocation from him. But if I just don't pay any attention, then the holy name also doesn't reciprocate.
Sure. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatamam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham manavartante manusha parta sarvasha. However you surrender to me, I reward you accordingly. And Gajendra says in his prayers that the Lord's never lazy. He's always there to reciprocate at every second. It's only a matter of how much we can turn our attention towards him and recognize him. So it's helpful to read Bhagavad Gita every day, because by reading Bhagavad Gita every day, we hear the voice of Krishna and we start to develop a very personal relationship with him. And then when we chant, we can remember that he's a person talking not just to Arjuna, but to us, and that he's our best friend in our heart. And that very personal approach is extremely powerful. Thank you, everybody, for joining Make Japa Great Again. And if we do this together, even though we're not on these calls, we remember that we're all together in a community all over North America and the world to expand Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement, to make sure as many people get the holy name as possible. Then we can become empowered by the chanting, especially. In fact, there's no other way. The communities that chant together and emphasize the holy name as the focal point for all practices and are really dedicating themselves to japa, then become more and more empowered to spread the holy name around the world. And let's do that. Let's really make our japa great again. And then we can develop more capacity for hearing and chanting, and also for pleasing our acharyas, especially Srila Prabhupada, by spreading the holy names all over the world. Book distribution, Harinam Sankirtan, setting up programs so that new people can come in and learn about Krishna consciousness in a systematic way. And that way, we'll use up our whole lifetime just in the service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Hari Bo.
Hari Bo. Kripa Sindhave Vachapati
Hari Bo.
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nanta Koti Vaishnavini Ki Jai. We will see you in 15 minutes and 32 seconds.